Yo, it's new. Alright, so today's, or as I should say, tonight's movie is Teeth. Teeth is rated R and was released in 2008 and has a running time of 2 hours and 3 minutes. If you feel like barfing up your lunch and barfing your brains out until you die, watch this movie because it's gross. It's sick. It's about this girl who, when she was little, she was in a pool with her stepbrother, and her stepbrother was like in love with her. And so he decided that he wanted to show her his little thing. So he's like, I'll show mine if you show me yours. So I guess he puts his finger up her vag, and what happens? He gets a bite. But nobody realizes that until the end. Sorry, guys. So they grow up, and this girl, she's like abstinent, and she has a promise ring and everything, and she has a boyfriend, and they're both saving themselves for marriage. But then their little hormones get to raging and all this stuff, and they decide to go to this little cave where people do it. But they decide that they just want to swim or whatever. But, as boys are, they just can't stop themselves. Anywho, so they go up to the little cave and they start making out, and then she's like, no, we have to stop. We promised ourselves. Notice that this boy, her boyfriend, has had sex once, and in God's eyes, is a virgin again. So, he starts to kiss her more, and he decides he's gonna rape her. So, yes, he starts raping her, and then all of a sudden, he starts to scream. And blood comes flushing out, and all of a sudden, you'll see a tip of a freaking nasty stick thing, and it's blood everywhere, and it's so sickening, and it's like, ew, ew, ew. And then you find out that she has, like, vagina teeth, or vagina dentata, or what her doctor calls it. So she goes to the gyno, and freaking, he gets his hand stuck in there, and he has to get surgery, but he won't tell anybody what happened. Like, what the frick? You're supposed to tell somebody if you just got bit by somebody's vag. What is that? It's sickening. So she kills her boyfriend. And this one guy, who has been trying to get after her for a while, helps her. Whatever. So she goes over his house, and he freaking drugs her, and he doesn't listen to anything she says about the whole vagina dentata thing. And then he has candles and lit things and gives her champagne, like, he's really gonna make it special. So he, like, has this weird vibrating thing on her, and she's like, oh yeah, I like it, blah blah blah. Then he decides he wants to just stick his thingy in her, and without her consent. But she likes it anyway, so she decides to do it with him. And she's like, no, you can't, because I will kill you with my vagina teeth. And he's like, no, I won't, because I'm a hero. Oh yeah, by the way, she looked it up online, and according to all these people, if a hero comes and saves her, then she'll be done with the curse or whatever. Anyhow, so they do it, and nothing happens. So she's like, I guess you are my hero. He's like, yeah, I'm your hero. So then the next day, she's like, oh, I have to go to the police and tell them that, like, I killed my boyfriend. He's like, no, no, you can stay here. So then they start to do it again, and his friend calls, and he's like, oh yeah, she's right here. He's like, hey man, oh yeah, yeah, she's right here. Yeah, totally. Say something. And she's like, what the frick? And he's like, say something right now. He's like, no. He's like, well, you hear that? You hear that? Yeah, yeah, I'm banging her. Yeah, I'm banging her. So he hangs up. And she's like, what the frick is that? He's like, oh, nothing. We just made a bet. And she's like, you made a bet? And I'm supposed to be abstinent? And he's like, well, I knew that was just a lie. So, yeah, I'm totally, like, doing it right now. So she gets mad. And then, boom, there goes his penis. This is the second time they like to show nasty chops of penises. And it's sickening. It was so nasty. It was really, really gross. It was blood and just the tip was sick. Anywho, she leaves, and she's all happy, like, aha, now I can control it or whatever. And then she finds out that her mother died, and that her brother did nothing about it, because he was too busy banging his girlfriend. The brother has serious issues. Then we later find out that the brother has serious issues because she bit him when he was younger, and because he was super, super duper in love with him, and he's been in love with her all their freaking life. And they're like teenagers now. So what happens is, she finds out that he let the mom die or whatever, and the dad gets attacked by the brother's dog, which is kind of just a stupid part that no one cares about. So then she gets all dressed up and she's like, I'm gonna get revenge on this mother sucker, you know what I'm saying? So she gets all dressed up and puts makeup on, and she goes in there and she's like, hey baby, and he's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so in love with you, like, I'm so glad that you finally want me. So she's like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, remembering, oh yeah, I remember you have teeth down there. So I'm gonna do you in the butthole. And she's like, no, you better do me in the back, man. So he's like, all right. So he puts this thing in there, and he's like, oh, I'm so happy. See what you've been missing, baby? Like, yeah, we could have did this a long time ago. So she's like, yeah. And then she like fights him, and then like I guess he got his thing pierced, so it was really gross. And she got up, and he didn't scream like the other two guys. Those guys were, they were wusses. Anyhow. So she got up, and ew, the tip of his thing falls out with the ring on it. Whoa. And then, oh yeah, and then the dog he tells the dog to attack her, but then the dog actually ends up taking his piece and eating it. And he's like, no, you're eating my thing. And it was really, really gross. It was a lot of blood and parts and sickness. And, yeah, it was just really, really sick movie. It's gross, and I really, really encourage you to watch it if you like nasty, weird things, but, it's actually pretty educational, I guess, and, yeah, there should be a second one, because she just leaves town, and she hitchhikes, and this old nasty man thinks that he was gonna get some from her. He, like, locked her in, and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna do to you what I did to all those other dudes, and then the movie ends. And you're just like, oh, is there gonna be a second one where she was like, vagina dentist dentata killer thing. So yeah, watch the movie. It's called Teeth again. Rated R. Sorry, young folks. 2008 release. 2 hours, 3 minutes. I personally saw it on the IFC channel. Don't know. You could check it on Netflix, anything, YouTube, whatever. But for me, I'm gonna give this movie 2 snaps. Alright. And a barf. Good night.